Guys, QuakeCon is here and Double Score is upon us, and because of that, loads of players have already started asking when Season 17 is going to end. And because of that, I figured I would start looking at some stuff, and of course, I always get on the Data Mine Discord, and lo and behold, I found a little nugget of information that may interest some of you guys. Anyhow, it goes over the release date for Milepost Zero Outpost. Well, Milepost Zero Outpost, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong every single time, without a doubt, every time. Anyhow, it also goes over the fact that legendary crafting may be coming sooner than we thought. Even though Bethesda has said that they weren't going to be putting this out soon, it definitely implies otherwise. So let's get into this actual article, and I'm going to share everything that I know so you guys can actually judge for yourself. Is this real or is this shenanigans? Also, guys, I'd like to go ahead and ask you guys if you could please give me a big Vault Boy thumbs up or Vault Girl thumbs up, and consider nuking that subscribe button on the way out, as it will greatly help out the channel and get this information to more viewers just like you, because God knows YouTube is having some issues. Anyway, let's get into it. So this morning when I checked the Dataman Discord, I saw this post, a bit old, but I don't think I've seen it posted yet. At the bottom it states that Fallout 76 Milepost Zero releases September 3rd, and then they have a link to the actual thing where it says Fallout 76's creative director Jonathan Rush and lead producer Bill is being interviewed. So it's Bill Lacoste. Now, I want everybody to know to just take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to show you guys the article because I want you guys to see exactly where it came from, how it actually words stuff, so that way you can kind of decide for yourself whether or not it's real. Like, we should be getting the actual news tomorrow or the next day during QuakeCon, because they will be doing a live stream going over the Milepost Zero update. So hopefully we'll get that release date ourselves, but this interview also goes over legendary crafting and the new camp system, and let's see, I think that might be it. But anyway, we're going to get into it and read it, but I do want you guys to see that MapX, which is one of the main people over on the Datamine Discord, or it seems to be one of the main people over there, says that it's a good find. Anyhow, if you go down a little bit further, Lux says, well, apparently the author of the article went and made a Reddit account just to come into the post and confirm the date was given by Bethesda PR. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll get into this, and you'll see why I am having a little bit of a hesitancy with this thing over here. So, it says here, so this is comicbook.com. Like I said, I don't know. I've not heard of them actually doing anything for Fallout 76 in the past, which is kind of news to me. So I figured let's just go ahead and we'll get into this. Now, it says right here that it was written on July 31st. But the thing is I think this is one of those websites that has lots of advertising, and they just go in and instead of making new stuff to like address news updates or whatever, they just go ahead and update the article, and so it gets to be really convoluted, and that's why it gets to be tricky whether or not you should trust them. And that's just my personal opinion. You guys have your own opinions, and that is completely fine, but let's go ahead and we'll get into this. So Fallout 76's creative director Jonathan Rush and lead producer Bill Lacoste talk about Milepost Zero update exclusive. So it seems that every time it's asserted there's never been a better time to join the Fallout 76 community. Bethesda doubles down on improving the experience further. The team developers who are seemingly consistently working on the live service game are on a hot streak of content updates for the game, with the map's first full expansion, Skyline Valley, launching in June. Launching. That means that it hasn't happened yet, but the article was written on July. So I think that this article was written a while ago and they added to it. That's just my personal opinion. And the thing is you can't tell if it was updated or, or edited or whatever. So anyway, it doesn't make any sense to me. So then it says, Milepost Zero is on the horizon for September, which we all knew. I'd already put it out there in the video because I'd asked, and they said that it was coming in September. Let's see here. So they got the customizable outpost, introducing brand new legendary crafting methods. It says, okay, so it says Milepost Zero adds several new pieces to the game's experience, from tasking players with setting up and defending their own Brahmin caravans, building out highly customizable outposts, and introducing brand new legendary crafting methods. The game's next update is one that I feel embraces the spirit of the Fallout. Okay, so they're actually saying not only are we getting the Outpost, but we're also getting Legendary Crafting, which they had kind of said that wasn't going to be coming for a long time. And they even made it seem like it wasn't coming for a long time. So now it sounds like it's definitely coming, and it's coming real soon. And most of you guys know that when they release something like this, they go ahead and they release the new season as well. And they already said that season 18 is starting in September, so that would track. So let's go ahead and get through this real quick. So it says they're talking about the public test server. Adding Caravan seemed like a pretty natural fit because Caravan goes all the way back to Fallout, and 76 has its own unique caravan company. The Blue Ridge Caravan Company. Rush states a lot of players probably knows back when Skyline Valley was on the PTS that you can't build in certain areas. And basically that is because of the Caravan. Let's see here. It says both of them like slapping the Brahmin. I mean, it's funny, but I don't know. I mean, like, it's funny the first couple times. After a while, it's just like, eh. But I can see why they'd say that. A lot of players are probably going to get a kick out of it. Let's see, the Caravan feature isn't all that's coming to Fallout 76 in the near future. So now they're saying it's the near future. The current PTS also allows players to test out the changes being made to the game's legendary crafting, which it's noted to me has been met with positivity by players on Discord and has already seen updates and changes to the new system. I think it's going to positively impact the player experience. The combat rebalancing is really cool. I think it makes the combat feel more snappy, makes it feel a bit more clear as people can see those damage over time effects. I think it's going to embolden players to try out different builds just because they have a much better view on what's going on with the combat. The end goal of that, of course, is to be able to give players just a little light at the end of the tunnel so they're not completely relying on RNG for speccing out their gear. So if they have a little bit more agency over what their gear is. For one, it'll let them make their build more effective, and two, also maybe embolden them to try different builds since it's not so prohibitive to get to that one piece of gear or that loadout you want. I think the other element here too is because it's not relying on RNG, that's going to allow a lot of our new players who come in who may not also have a lot of time to play sometimes be able to earn and get the weapons they've been looking for, at least the armor they've been looking for. Lacoste adds further, contributing to the assertion it's never been a better time to join. We've also added the ability for you to actually scrap some of the legendary weapons this time around. You get a little scrap back, but you also have the potential to earn one of those recipes for one of those stars. So that again gets into the point of where you're trying to roll your own legendary weapons. You may get two of those stars that are really good, but one of those stars is kind of like, I don't really want that one. But if you got the recipe, if you got the recipe and you find the recipe, you can roll it into it now, and it'll lock the weapon for you. But now you've given yourself a little bit better chance of getting the weapon that you are actually looking for or striving for. Also opens up the opportunity to explore and try new loadouts. I'm just working on my blooded weapon. I just can't get that. You'll get a lot more opportunity to explore, and again, use your job board too to build out new loadouts. A job board. All right, I guess that's the loadout machine. I'm hoping that's what that is. Job board, I guess, could be something else. Let's see here. My personal favorite feature currently in the PTS is the Best Builds, a new social update that implements a system allowing players to submit, visit, and rate submitted camps. Circling back to my earlier comment about Milepost Zero as a whole. Embracing the creative spirit of its players, it's this feature specifically that I feel encompasses the sentiment and reflects Bethesda's love of its players, adding their personal touch to the map. When speaking about Best Builds, Rush notes that it's exciting because it's like our first big feature that's a nod to our building community. The vast majority of players are builders, and so giving them tools to be able to show off what they build to other players within the game was at the front of our thinking while talking about Best Builds. As a player, I build a cool camp, and if I want to submit it into the Best Builds pool, I submit it, and I add my imagery, and that goes into the pool, and Best Builds camps on the maps are marked by unique icons, so the players know when they go to the most is the Best Builds camp. Somebody comes by your camp, they like it, they can give you a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Camps that get a lot of thumbs up will be featured on various worlds at Best Builds camps, so that top-tier list will fluctuate continuously as people make more and more camps and visit more and more camps. It should make the worlds feel a bit more populated and with really interesting camps that people can check out. For the future, we've got a lot of things that we've been talking about. about ways we can continue to build off of this feature, adding favorite builders and whatnot. So we've got some plans in early talks, but nothing really ironed out to where we could go into much detail here. If I could expand on that just slightly, the technology behind building best builds was meant to be expandable, meaning we could venture into other designs and features we thought would be suitable for this. So it's not just isolated to what you're seeing right now. There's a lot of ability for expansion into allowing best builds to do things that we are not going to talk about right now, but certainly in the future that we want to put out. It says Fallout 76 Milepost Zero is releasing in early September, leaving plenty of time for players to utilize the updates to create the perfect spooky experience in Appalachia ahead of Halloween, which Rush notes is his favorite time of year, and he looks forward to seeing camp builds for the holiday every year. I consider July 5th onwards Halloween season, so hopefully I start to see those popping up in the next couple months or so. And it says, and because I simply couldn't help myself, I brought up the fact that players will be able to play as a ghoul sometime in 2025, because every day that passes on the calendar is just another day closer to ghouldom for me. While this specific feature is, of course, still very much so in development, Rush did give me a little nugget to hold on to until the next time I'm able to bring it up. Ghouls are looking pretty awesome. Fallout 76 Milepost Zero releases September 3rd. It says comic book is owned by CBS Interactive, a division of Paramount. Okay, so this is like an actual thing. All right, so I'm not sure like why nobody's seen this and why this hasn't been brought up sooner, but this is kind of interesting. Like I said, I tried Googling it. I couldn't really find it. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's kind of like a suppressed piece of information almost. So from what this article's saying is that Milepost Zero is coming out on the 3rd, and that it says that Milepost Zero adds several new pieces to the game's experience, from tasking players with setting up and defending their Brahmin caravans, building out highly customizable outposts, and introducing brand new legendary crafting methods. So they're saying legendary crafting is coming September 3rd. So that is interesting. And of course, that means that also Season 18 will also start then. So whether or not this is true, I guess hopefully we'll find out in the next couple days. But if you're wondering whether or not you should be grinding out your dailies today and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, then yes. The answer is yes if you're trying to get to a certain point on the scoreboard. If you're not sure what you should be grinding for, or if you should be grinding, I think I might do a video going over my thoughts on the new season and how it's worked since we're now on the 2nd season, and just what I think about it. Obviously, everybody's going to have their own thoughts. But anyway, join me today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time while I go over the QuakeCon intro, like they're doing their general welcome. And I think that they're also going to be doing, id Software is going to be doing something with Doom, so we might take a look at that as well. It won't be very long, so hopefully you guys can stop by and see it. Anyway, take care, guys. Thank you guys for being a Deathclaw. If you're a Deathclaw, thank you for getting your horns out there and joining me in this crazy thing that I call addiction gaming. All right, guys, take care. I love you, and I'll see you in the wasteland.